So a quick disclaimer before I give my recap/review. One, I have not seen all of Star Wars Rebels. I've seen about 8 episodes a few years ago, so I just wanted to get that out there. And two, I am working my way through a Star Wars The Clone Wars rewatch. I watched it as it came on Cartoon Network, so I've seen seasons 1 through 5 and season 6 on Netflix, and I have not seen season 7. I will check that out eventually, but I know what happens. I've seen recaps of it. And also, this is the best episode of The Mandalorian by far. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another Friday Mandalorian review. This time, you might realize I have a little more energy. It's because I did not wake up at 3 in the morning to watch it this time. I just stayed off social media when I got up, and I just woke up at a normal hour and watched it instead, so I'm really pumped about this video because, man, Season 2, Episode 5, aka Chapter 13, The Jedi, directed and written by Dave Filoni. So there was a lot of hype around this episode coming into the week. There was talks that Ahsoka was going to appear, and she did. So I'm going to let you know right now, there's a ton of spoilers in this video. It's going to be like a recap, but I'm not going to go as in-depth as I normally do because there are so many details. I'm just going to kind of hit on the major beats that are revealed throughout this episode and give you guys my review overall. So this episode opens on Corvus, and you see that's obviously the planet that the Mandalorian is trying to take Baby Yoda to find Ahsoka. And there's like a lot of fog here. It's a very cool aesthetic. And then there's like a wall and a bunch of troopers out in the woods, and then you see 2 white lightsabers ignite, and it's Ahsoka, and I went, I was like agape when it happened. It was a great moment. It gave me chills. Even though I haven't seen Rebels, like I said, I still love Ahsoka's character, even though I haven't seen the full development of it. She's an awesome character, and it makes me excited to binge through the rest of my Clone Wars rewatch and watch Rebels for the first time. But the episode just opens with such a bang, and you see there's this magistrate character, and she kind of gives Ahsoka, like she says, you have until tomorrow or whatever to come back. That's not really the main point of the episode. Then you see the Mandalorian on his ship, the Razor Crest, pull up to Corvus, and that's like, oh, he's about to meet Ahsoka, isn't he? And so they arrive on the planet. He goes to the town. He says he's a member of the Bounty Hunter Guild. He's a hunter, so he's allowed in. And then he meets with the magistrate, whose guard has a full-on Beskar spear. It's actually her weapon, I believe, but he was holding it. And that's his payment. She wants him to go kill AHSOKA Tano. Little does she know that the Mandalorian's trying to find AHSOKA Tano so that he can deliver the child, who we won't be calling the child much longer. I'll get to that in a second. But so he accepts the job, and he goes out, tries to find AHSOKA Tano, and he's out in the woods. He's looking with the scanner, and then Ahsoka comes up with her 2 lightsabers ignited. The Mandalorian, they have cool hand-to-hand combat. He uses his flamethrower, ties her up with his grapple, and then he gets up on the tree, and then he says, wait, Bo-Katan sent me. And then she's like, hopefully about that guy. And then Baby Yoda, because he sat Baby Yoda down, is sitting on a stump. And then you're like, oh my gosh, it's about to go down. Man, it was so cool to see Rosario Dawson in the role. Like, it literally blew my mind. And Bo-Katan is cool, but again, I'm not even as familiar with her character because it's been years since I've seen Clone Wars, haven't seen Rebels. But this Ahsoka Tano reveal just hit me differently. Like, now I imagine how most of the people who love Rebels and even her arcs in the Clone Wars, because I don't remember them as much, I was like 11 or 12. So that must have been awesome seeing Bo-Katan. It was still cool for me, but this one had more weight to it, more impact. It literally like made me, I could not stop cheesing. I was smiling so hard during it. So then they meet up, they're sitting down. The child and Ahsoka are kind of sitting down looking at each other. She's getting a feel for him, and the Mandalorian's kind of just watching on nervously as, you know, that's essentially his son. He's been a father figure to it for quite some time. And then she says, I sense a lot of fear in him. He gets some sleep, and then it's either revealed then or it's revealed when he wakes up. Either way, it's revealed. She says, Grogu. And he's like, what? Grogu, that's his name. Grogu is the name of the child / Baby Yoda. So now I feel like it's like I have to call him Grogu. It's such a cool name. It sounds like something that definitely fits Star Wars, so I'm really happy they went with that name. Grogu. It's not as cute as Baby Yoda, but Baby Yoda is just something that the fans kind of made up anyway. And it's revealed that he was actually on Coruscant training to be a Jedi, and then once the Empire rose and the Clone Wars began, he was hidden, and then someone took him from there, and that's just crazy that he was training to be a Jedi. And then the moment that gave me the most chills in this episode, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Grogu are all sitting there, and she says, I've only known one other kind like this. He was a very powerful Jedi Master. His name was Yoda. And then for like 2 seconds, you hear Yoda's theme play, and I literally, like, tears in my eyes. Like, that's one of my favorite Star Wars scores, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I love that they're connecting it all. It gave me so much joy inside. It filled my heart. I was just smiling, cheesing so hard. They kind of train for a little bit. You see that Ahsoka holds out a stone and the child won't return it. And then the Mandalorian holds out, of course, the little knob thing that he loves to play with. And the Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, I'm going to have to get used to saying that. He forces it into his hand. And Ahsoka's like, he has an attachment. I've seen what attachments can do to the best of fully trained Jedi, so I can't train him. So Ahsoka says she has to go back to the village, and she can't train the child because of attachment. Grogu, by the way, is his name. I'm gonna force myself to get that right. She's going back to the village because it's almost been 24 hours. And then the Mandalorian says, wait, I was sent here to kill you by the magistrate. And then she was like, oh, crap. So they kind of team up and make an agreement where the Mandalorian says, I'll help you with the village and, like, securing that if you train Grogu properly. And so they agree. They head over to the village. They fake Mandalorian's death. She throws his Beskar shoulder plate. And you get some awesome shots of Ahsoka. The best one that made me feel like it was most Clone Wars was when she jumps up on the wall and she's taking out people. And then there's one guy left and she looks and gives like a little grin. I was like, that feels like classic, like young Ahsoka. And I just loved it so much. And then she's there. It's like her and then the magistrate and all of her troops are there. And then she starts taking them all out. And it's just a lot of awesome action. There's a cool ass shot where she has both her lightsabers like this and she ignites them. And both the hilts are like here. And then she goes like that. I had chills. I almost clapped. And it was literally just me sitting on my couch. It was so great. And then the Mandalorian pulls up and he takes out some people. And then it's a standoff with him and like the right-hand man, if you will. I don't know his name. And they're actually having a Western standoff, just chilling. And in the meantime, Ahsoka jumps over the wall. The magistrate's there with a guard. They're like facing off, right? So she has the Beskar spear versus Ahsoka's two lightsabers. They take off their cloaks like it's something from the prequels. It was so cool. They start fighting. And that lightsaber duel, if you want to call it that, I'm going to. It was amazing. Like, this is some of the best Star Wars content since the original trilogy, honestly. This episode is fantastic. But they're fighting, and then outside, the Mandalorian's having a back and forth with the right-hand man. But all the while they're fighting, Ahsoka loses one of her lightsabers, so she just has one, and there's a cool shot where she goes like this, and she flips it to, like, the upside down, the way she likes to hold her lightsabers. They're fighting, it's awesome, and eventually she gets rid of the Beskar spear of the magistrate, puts the lightsaber to her neck, and then on the outside, the right-hand man who's faced off against the Mandalorian says, well, it looks like I lost this battle. So he starts to put down his gun, and then right when he does it, he starts to pull out his revolver, and the Mandalorian blows him away. And then the local villagers start to come out, and one of them says, wait, right behind you, there's another robot on the roof, or droid, and Mandalorian turns around and shoots him, so they're clear out there. And right before it cuts to the end of this sequence, Ahsoka has the lightsaber to the magistrate's neck and says, tell me where your master is. Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn? Which, this name drop was very cool because I am aware of who Thrawn is. However, I have not seen Rebels. I haven't read the Thrawn book, so it didn't have as much weight to me. The village is safe. It's almost like in the end of Return of the Jedi when they're like celebrating. That's what it feels like a little. The score even reminded me of the victory medley that's in the special editions. Ahsoka says, where's the child? And the Mandalorian says, he's on my ship. I gotta go get him. So they're there back at the Razor Crest. He goes to Grogu. I gotta say that. Grogu. And he says, let's say our goodbyes or whatever. I was like, no way they get rid of the child here, right? Like, Grogu, by the way, is his name. There's no way. I was so, like, sad. I was like, I know he's not going to be around forever, but it made me really upset inside. I was like, oh, I don't want this relationship to end right now. And then Ahsoka walks up and says, you're a father figure to him. I'm not going to train him. He says, I held up my end of the deal, so you have to train him. And then she says, why don't you try going to this Jedi temple? And if you place him on a certain stone there or an area there, if he reaches out with the Force, he can make like the decision for himself. And if so, like a Jedi might hear it and reach out to train him. So that sets up endless possibilities, honestly. It could be Luke Skywalker, which is because it's after Return of the Jedi. It could be Luke Skywalker, which would be crazy. It could be another Jedi that we don't even know. So there's a lot of possibilities. It could be anyone for all we know. Seriously, it's exciting stuff. They have a nice little moment where she says, may the Force be with you. The Mandalorian and Grogu get back on the Razor Crest and take off, and then Ahsoka kind of looks up and smiles, like a grin of hope almost, and then she turns away and walks away. Cuts to credits, directed by Dave Filoni. That is my quickest recap I could give for this episode. I was so excited, but my review is like essentially the same. The action is the best we've seen in The Mandalorian when it comes to how the lightsabers and the lightsaber duels look like something out of the movies. The production value, insanely high for this show. You get a lot of lore regarding the child as you get to find out his name, more of his backstory, more of implications for the rest of the season, as this is stuff that's not just here for season 2, but 3, 4, 5 down the road. These have huge implications. I mean, you're possibly setting up Luke Skywalker to make an appearance. You're possibly setting up Thrawn, who I'm going to learn more about as the weeks go on. And all of these possibilities, they're starting to set up this show for the long haul. Not just this season, the long haul. Bo-Katan will probably come back, and it makes me really excited because characters like Cobb Vanth will probably make appearances down the road that could be supporting characters. Bill Burr's character could come back. So There's so many endless possibilities with this show, and that's what I love. Rosario Dawson as AHSOKA Tano killed it. She literally looked like I was looking at the animated in live action, so I have to give perfect credit there. The action is the best it's been, and that's why it's my favorite episode. You get these heartfelt moments, you get lore, and then you get these awesome action sequences like the end and the opening, even the middle, when Ahsoka has her one-on-one with Mando. Like, everything about this episode was perfection to me. This is the best episode of the show by far. And I hope there's even better ones this season because we haven't seen any trailer footage from 5 through 8, the episodes. I'm so pumped for the rest of this season. Moff Gideon's role is going to come into play. Bo-Katan will come back. Everything about it just worked for me. It's cementing itself as one of the greatest pieces of Star Wars content, and I am stoked for the rest of the season. That's going to do it for me basically gushing about this episode, my spoiler recap, my review, if you will. Hope you guys liked the episode. Let me know your thoughts on it down below. Definitely hit the like button, and like I said, comment your thoughts down below. You can talk spoilers in the comments, the reveals, everything. I want to know what you guys are thinking. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. I have a Black Friday Blu-ray hunt coming out later today, which I'm very excited about. I had a lot of fun with that video. Mandalorian videos for the rest of the season on Fridays will be coming, and I'll probably do a season review at the end of it all. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Have a great Black Friday weekend. And until next time, I'll see you guys later, and may the Force be with you.